Flip-flops at the beach, Crocs at the pool, hiking boots for the mountains. There are so many activities in the summer with the right footwear is absolutely crucial. Here today with us is Dr. Rebecca Sikora with Triad Foot and Ankle Center to talk about avoiding foot pain this summer, and we all want to avoid that. All right, first up, what difference does the type of shoe that we wear have on our health?
Hi, thank you for having me. The type of shoe on our foot health is very important that we wear. Our feet are our foundation, so making sure we have the right support for our foundation is incredibly important to prevent foot injuries, foot pain, even pain farther up in the body, like in our knees and hips, and even in our back.
All right, I think
making sure we have that good support is very important.
Yeah, I think sometimes we just slip on whatever happens to be easiest, right, without thinking about it. So let's talk about some health issues or some types of pain that could result from wearing not the most supportive of shoes.
If you don't have that support, it can lead to things like plantar fasciitis, or lead to foot deformities like bunions and hammer toes, or injuries like ankle injuries or tendon injuries in any part of your foot.
Okay, none of those things sound fantastic because that means that you're going to be off your feet, right? All right, so flip-flops are big this time of year. It is summertime. This is what people wear. Let's talk about that being a choice and how we need to be careful when we wear those flip-flops.
Yeah, so flip-flops, you do want to be careful. Most flip-flops that they make are pretty flimsy, pretty flexible, not very supportive, and not very helpful for our feet. Getting in a good pair of shoes that is supportive, that has a nice arch support, is going to be more helpful. Also, that has some sort of protection. Flip-flops obviously don't have a lot of protection for you, so that can cause problems too down the road. When you're looking at a shoe, you want to make sure it has good support and not super flexible. So I have an example here. You can't really bend this one in half. You can only bend a little bit at the toes, and that's really important to make sure that you got enough support and protection in that shoe.
Okay, so are there do's and don'ts when it comes to flip-flops, or is it just don't?
Mostly don'ts for those really plasticky, flimsy flip-flops. Those are not going to be your greatest choice. They do have more supportive shoes out there that are still cute, because I know we like to go for the cute options. There are more things out there that if you just kind of do that little test and make sure they have that support there, those are going to be better options.
All right, and let's talk about like the regular summer activities and then what kind of footwear we should be wearing. So first and foremost, let's do like out hiking first.
So when you're hiking, it's very important to make sure you have that support, because you're going to be on your feet for long periods of time. Usually you're walking for quite a while, so making sure you have a good arch support. If you are prone to ankle injuries or anything like that, wearing something that's a little bit higher, more of a hiking boot, is going to be really helpful, just to kind of prevent any twisting of the ankle, especially on those terrains that are a little bit more treacherous. And in general, just as long as you have a good supportive tennis shoe, that's going to be more helpful. Don't want to be on the trails in any sort of flip-flops or sandals.
And I have seen that 1,000,001 times, flip-flops on the hiking trail. All right, how about the sightseeing or like at an amusement park? Because those are usually like asphalt and we're usually hot, and so I'm seeing flip-flops there too.
And in general, as long as you've got a good supportive flip-flop, that can be more helpful, but it's going to be better for most people to wear a tennis shoe or something really supportive, cushioned, that is going to get you through those long days of walking in the amusement parks.
Okay, going for a run, I'm guessing just running shoes is the answer?
Running shoes, walking as well. A good running shoe is going to be the most helpful. And you want to also be mindful with running, more so than walking, you're going to wear out those shoes more often. So getting into a new pair of shoes regularly is going to be important.
Yeah, and I think we don't do that either. We just wear them forever until they're like coming apart. Okay, so riding a bike. I know I see a lot of kids in my neighborhood, they're riding their bikes with their flip-flops or their sandals, or really just barefoot because it's summertime.
Yeah, so you also want to wear some sort of tennis shoe or something protective when riding the bike, because you can easily get an injury from the bike with a sandal or flip-flop. And it's also going to be good and more supportive for your foot as well, just to have something more protective and supported.
Okay, let's talk about walking on the beach, because we all want to do that if we haven't done that yet this summer. So are there times when we should be wearing a shoe and times where we can just nix the shoes?
So in general, if you're just lounging on the beach, walking back and forth from the ocean, it's probably okay to go barefoot. If you're going to be doing longer walks on the beach, or if the beach is kind of long to get to where you need to go, wearing something supportive on your feet is going to be helpful, especially with those that have problems already, are prone to plantar fasciitis, are prone to other foot injuries and things like that.
Interesting, because I always, thought that that was just like good exercise for my feet, but I need some more support. Okay, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. And welcome back. Dr. Rebecca Sikora with Triad Foot and Ankle Center is here breaking down everything you need to know about keeping your feet healthy this summer, which keeps you healthy. All right, so when it comes to going barefoot, which a lot of people do, especially around the summertime, they like to feel the grass or whatever. What are the concerns?
So biggest concerns with going barefoot is, one, you don't have the support. You don't have that foundation that you need to kind of help with the muscles in your feet and kind of ambulating as you should. The other big concern, especially in our diabetic population, is stepping on things, injuring the foot in some way, and causing wounds, causing infections, causing major problems down the road.
All right, any do's and don'ts when it comes to going barefoot?
I would say for diabetics, don't ever go barefoot. And then for most other people, it's probably something that you should avoid.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about Crocs, because they're like one of the most popular shoes. What types of activities would be recommended for Croc style shoes?
So I think Crocs are a great shoe, especially for being at home, walking around the house, leisure activities, things that you're not really putting hard effort on your feet. The more active you are, probably getting into something a little bit more supportive will be better. But in general, Crocs are good for a lot of different things. They've got the cushion and they've got the support in them.
All right, what about kids and Crocs?
Kids, I think for most kids, as long as they're not doing too much running and too much joking around, I think wearing Crocs is a good option, especially in school when they're not on the playground and things like that. It can be a very good option because they've got good support and nice breathing room in there.
Okay. All right, this is such a common thing. We all buy shoes and we think to ourselves, they're going to be comfortable once I break them in. Is that actually true?
It depends on the type of shoe. The more rigid the shoe is to begin with, the more you're going to have to try and break it in. Usually we recommend trying to wear it for like an hour the first day, a couple hours the next day, a few hours the next day after that, and so on and so forth. With some of those other shoes that have more cushion, you probably won't need to break those in as much because they're just going to automatically feel more comfortable.
Okay, so you get home from work and you put the new shoes on for an hour and walk around the house instead of wearing them for the whole 8 or 9 hour workday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Won't like them very much after that.
No. All right. Hot summer days make our feet swell, make our legs swell. They make our shoes fit tighter. So is there anything that we can do to reduce the swelling?
The biggest things to reduce swelling, keeping them elevated, keeping hydrated can help if you're getting very swollen. Sometimes wearing compression stockings can be helpful, although it's a little difficult in the summer with the hot summer heat. Biggest things though, in regards to shoes, if you're going to be getting a new pair of shoes, trying them on at the end of the day after you've kind of already swelled for that day will kind of prevent any issues wearing them in the future because you'll already be fitted for that swollen foot.
Okay, so foot pain, shoe pain, I mean, I think it's a very common thing. At what point do we need to actually see a doctor?
I think if you have any sort of concerns, you have any sort of mild pain, those can always turn into some more issues down the road. So as soon as you have any sort of concern, come in and see us. We'll be happy to see you and talk through any concerns you have or any issues and give you as much advice as we can. Okay,
so foot doctor, a podiatrist in case, right? So what are the referrals or whatever that is needed if we feel like that needs to happen?
So no referrals necessary to come in and see us. You can go to conehealth.com/appointments and make an appointment with us at any time. We can usually get you in pretty quickly and help you out with any problems that you have, from plantar fasciitis to ankle injuries to skin issues, toenail fungus, anything like that.
Right, and if your feet are not happy, then the rest of your body does not feel happy either.
Exactly.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time. Hey, if you missed any of this, maybe you need to send it to a family member who's got some pain and they need to take care of it, go to our website and click in the To Your Wellbeing section.